All right, here's number 22 you were asking about. So the hard part here is not necessarily the geometry, it's the algebra. So if we look at this picture, we have a trapezoid, which means that this side here and this side here are parallel. And we know that because those like arrows. So as I'm sure you've probably figured out, that means that this angle and this angle are alternate interior angles. And it also means that this angle and this angle are alternate interior angles. So this section we learned that when the lines are parallel, which they are, alternate interior angles are supplementary. Okay, so that means that these two in black, so 2y plus 2x plus 12 has to equal 180. Okay, and it also means that these two in blue, so 4x plus y plus 6 equals 180. Okay, so we have two different equations, but like you said, we have an x and a y in both equations, which makes this complicated. So you did learn this concept in Algebra 1, and it's when we have two different equations with two different variables. It is called a system of equations. Okay, and we learned in Algebra 1 that there are two ways to solve system of equations. And you may or may not remember this. One of them is by substitution, and one is by elimination. So this is kind of a, you pick which one you prefer. And sometimes it just depends on the question. All right, so I'm going to show you how to do this, but first I'm going to clean up these two different equations. So I'm just going to subtract 12 on both sides, and I get 2y plus 2x equals 168. Okay, and then over here, subtract 6. Let's change this back to green so I don't confuse you. So I have 4x plus y equals 174. All right, now when I look at these two, I see that this y right here doesn't have a coefficient. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this equation in terms of y. So minus 4x on both sides. So I would get y equals 174 minus 4x. Okay, now the reason I did this is because now I can substitute. So I'm going to use the substitution part of the system of equations. And if you don't remember this at all from Algebra 1 and you're curious, you can just go into YouTube and do like system of equation, or you could do substitution or elimination, and you'll get plenty of videos. I mean, this is a very common thing. All right, so because this is in terms of y, okay, here's what y equals, I can plug it in for this y. Okay, so I can plug in this here, since all of this equals y, I can plug it in to this y. So I could rewrite this equation as 2 parentheses 174 minus 4x, because that's what y equals, plus 2x equals 168. Okay, now the reason that I did this is because now we have this big long equation here, but we only have one variable. So all we have is the x. So from there, you can just distribute this 2 through, kind of work it out, solve for x, and then after you have x, you could plug x in right here to solve for y. So hopefully that explains how you do it. Let me know if you still have questions.